Want to do a quick edit. The Chrysler 300S is actually a V6 pushing out 300 horsepower and 200 feet of torque. I mistaken it for a V8 and had to look up online to confirm, but it goes into the driving ability that it feels like a V8, so that's a good thing. The car is in fact 5,000 pounds. Online it was saying that it was 4,000 and some change. Had to check the side here, and it does say weight 5,000 pounds, 5,100. Okay, so some quirky sound system is run by Alpine. Sounds great. Listen to my traps. Music, awesome. Some quirky things, of course, is the gas button is hidden back here. Windshield wipers, that was a bit of getting used to, is over here where the blinker is. So you turn it forward to turn it on. The thing is, I'm used to, getting water to spray on here, but apparently you got to push to get the water on. So that was a bit of getting used to. And then when you come down here, you have this parking and driving this gear system, which is kind of weird and a bit of getting used to as well. So the cool thing about this is if you have it in drive and then you go to shut off the car once you park, normally in other cars you would have to turn the car back on, but this automatically switches it to park. So very convenient in that aspect. And then also the parking sensor monitoring. So let me reverse this real quick. All right, so I'll put it in drive. It senses, like, if you're about to hit the front, there's sensors on the bottom, and it starts beeping when you hit that curb. So just some quirks about the car. Thought you might want to know. Latest. Hello everyone. This week's weekly rental is the Chrysler 300S. Definitely an upgrade. This model, 2021, comes in white with black 20-inch rims. I really like the color accent, the black rims and the white body. Big caliper brakes. Under the hood is a V8. If I could get this to open. V8 with variable valve timing probably pushing 300 plus horsepower and 300 plus feet of torque. All right. Nice big bodied look. It's under the in the trunk. Have dual exhaust pipes. In the hood or the trunk. Nice big storage area. Let's take a look in the cabin. We'll start from the back. In the back, you're greeted with leather upholstery. Seating position, my driving position, I'm 6 foot tall. If I hop on in, it seems to be pretty decent. I have plenty of space. I would say 5 person. Four comfortably. Pops down for armrests with cup holders. You have air vents for the back and 2 USB ports. This is definitely a nice sedan. Let's hop in the front of the cabin and see what we have. So, open it up. We're gonna hop into the cockpit, but first, this was a little bit hard to find, but your gas button is right here. Weird location, but okay. As we hop on in into the cockpit, you're greeted with a nice dash, analog display, push button ignition, and the display, analog and digital information. Really nice. Big fat leather steering wheel. Your paddle shifters. I think this is a 8-gear automatic transmission. Your cruise control, audio control, Bluetooth. Over here, you have your lighting, which is standard now, and a button to open up the hood. Power windows, power locks, power mirrors. Over here, you have a 7 to 8 inch infotainment, kind of like this is powered by Uconnect. Kind of like the Android Auto on here. This version has picture-in-picture or multiple windows. I could have my maps and my Spotify playing. Come down. So here are your controls for your radio, your AC, your heat. And you have your center console, which pops up to show 12-volt EC. Pops on down. This is kind of weird, is you don't have, this is the shift or to change into different driving modes: parking, reverse, neutral, drive, and sport when you're driving. I thought this was like the infotainment, but it is the to engage the drivetrain. And I think Chrysler had this in mind because had this weirdness in mind because it does get a little bit of getting used to. But the cool thing is you could leave it in park. Oh, it doesn't do it now. But it automatically shifts it in park and turns the car off, which is kind of cool. Moving down the center, I like this right here. You have your cup holders, but you have your cup holder cover that covers it and gives you a nice little extra area to put things on. Great for work. Your center console, pretty decent. Cup holder tray, extra 12-volt DC, and you have your auxiliary port and 2 more USB ports. Glove box. You have a shelved glove box, which is kind of nice. You have rear view, push button indoor lights. And to round it off, you have an analog clock. Cabin is nice and comfy. This leather wrapped seats, very comfortable for long trips. Good visibility, even though the hood is kind of elongated. You do have a blind spot, but looking over your shoulder, no issues there. Just flick your head around to take a look. Safety features, you don't have lane avoidance, but you have blind spot detection, which is on the side view mirrors. It lights up. Also has heated sides, which is convenient. So it does sound off when a car is in your blind spot or you're about to collide with the vehicle. What I really like is the parking sensor. When you're parking, if you get too close to a curb, it will sound off. All right, so let's take this on the road. All right, so just so you know, this car is pretty heavy, and it is a gas guzzler. It weighs in at a hefty 5,000 pounds, and it gets 21 miles to the gallon. So, other than that, it drives pretty comfortably. Cabin is pretty quiet on the road. Turns pretty nice for a big bodied sedan. Acceleration, no issues. Very powerful. Brakes are good. Soaks up all the bumps. And since it's quiet, all you hear is the engine. Driving experience, I would rather like it. It is pretty sporty, hence the 300S for sport. So you could be civilized or punch it after work. Sorry about that. Fire truck went by. But for as far as driving, you have to get used to the big bodied of this 300S. But once you get used to that, it's a nice driving experience for a sedan. Gives it I feel very comfortable on the road, very commanding. No issues with power. We're about to merge onto highway traffic. There's a car in my blind spot. No problem accelerating, and there goes the blind spot detection. So, rides very comfortably on the road, like I said, pretty commanding. No issues. When an 18-wheeler passes me by or high winds, it doesn't move the car around. It's just steady Eddie. Somebody like that tries to change lanes. If you're going fast, the car has big enough brakes for you to stop. Now, would I recommend this for a rental? Yes, I would. If you don't mind the bad gas mileage, I would definitely rent this car for a weekend or even for work. I have no issues with actually doing some work in the car. I would pull over, bust out my laptop, or check my emails on my phone, fire it away. It's like a mobile office. Other reasons to rent this car, maybe if you have a client, somebody to impress. I know it sounds kind of superficial, but hey, business, all about impressions. I would rate this B plus For rinsability, definitely would rinse it again. Just be cognizant of the poor gas mileage. All right, y'all. Thanks for watching. See you next time.